I want to talk to you about this topic about investing in purpose and really thinking about the way that you are getting internal investments at Salesforce. So when you're going to, all your board, to all the internal leaders and trying to get people to invest more in sustainability, what are the cases that you're making? What resonates the most?
Thank you, and apologies for being late. I had a nice little tour around Midtown in high heels, which was fun. I forgot about the having to go through Grand Central part of it. It's a great question. It's really timely as we think about this sort of global macroeconomic headwinds that you hear a lot about. I was with our board recently, and two things really come to mind around the investment question. The first thing I said is, all that might be true, and I grew up in enterprise technology and software, and if you've been following the industry, it's not been pretty in our industry as of late. But what I said is, the climate change is not going to wait for a tech correction or for macroeconomic headwinds. We have 7 years and 2 weeks, essentially, to keep to a safe degree of warming and reduce global emissions by 50%, and they rose last year at 10%. So, we can't slow down. We have to continue to go fast. And what I love about it is I was looking at the data on emissions and on our renewable projects. We made $8 million this year on our renewable energy projects. So we're in the black on that for the company. And there is energy prices that have increased, and there's been some things that are environmentally happening that is sort of unpredictable with renewable. But I love the fact that that's a positive for the company. And emissions is the same thing. We had this conversation just with our executive team just an hour ago, and I said the best thing about working on emissions reductions, we have a 50% reduction target by 2025 and an absolute at zero by 2030, is that when you save on emissions, you save on travel dollars, you save on building efficiencies. So when you reduce emissions for the company, you're actually saving the company money at the same time. So for me, the case is both climate change won't wait, whatever's happening in the company and the world. And second, if we do this right, we'll benefit as a company and benefit the planet at the same time.
Right, so even if you want to ignore the climate challenge that's looming all over all of us, the financial part is hard to ignore, right? The savings that you're saying or the money that you're making is harder for people to say no to.
Yeah.
And as you're thinking about how you're investing your time and what you're prioritizing, what projects you pick, how do you weigh which directions you want to go in?
Well, I think, and one of the panelists said it just in the last session, from my perspective, the E is also everyone's job, in addition to the S. Frankly, so is the G. So, we operationalize, we put sustainability as a value in our business plan this year. We actually never add values. I've been at Salesforce for 22 years, and we haven't added a value in 5 of those years. So we added sustainability as a value this year. And so what's happened is that now the whole company is operationalizing that value, which is really cool.
What does that mean to add it as a value?
Yeah, so we have core values, and that's how we run the company. Trust, there's nothing more important than trust. Customer success, always putting our customers first. Innovation, constantly innovating. Equality, we added as a value about 5 years ago, and then operationalize that. So we operationalize all our values, and then sustainability. So the way that it shows, I only do 3 things. The sustainability team, we work on net zero now, keeping all of our public commitments to be a net zero company and trying to get all of our customers to net zero. Nature positive, we have a trillion tree effort and some other things we're doing in the nature positive space. And ecopreneurs, looking for incredible entrepreneurs that are working on climate solutions and getting behind them. So the sustainability team focuses on those 3 things. But now, in terms of investment of time, I have the engineering team who came to me and said, here's a carbon to serve metric. And I'm going to reduce my carbon to serve by 30% in the first year. And it was amazing. So they're coding in a more efficient way. They're really looking at data center efficiency. Marketing came to me and said, what if we run these like net zero events and use all sustainable food, and we save like 6 million gallons of water by not serving beef at our events. And then finance came recently, and we bought a company called Slack, and we did that through a green bond. So, all over the company, they're operationalizing this value based on, kind of wherever they're sitting in the business.
And are you involved at all in training your Salesforce, your workforce to actually better make this part of their jobs? Like, are you guys thinking about how you take people who maybe didn't come from a sustainability background or have not worked in this or studied this? How are they thinking about how they take that to sales or marketing or whatever else?
Yeah, I think two things. One is they're just thinking about how they're being sustainable in their own work. That's no training required, but it's smart engineers that are what if we develop a carbon to serve metric? That would be really cool. So that part is just people's own individual ambition, commitment, clarity that climate change really matters. The second part of it is we do have a free learning platform. It's called Trailhead. And so we have all these sustainability trails, and they're everything from how to work from anywhere in a green way, how to reduce your home energy usage, to things from a sustainability, what does a renewable project look like? Where are our projects? We're very focused in places where we need to green the grid, like West Virginia. So we have education programs on sustainable topics, but we try to, for the most part, A, meet people where they are, help them in their day jobs, and B, just help people as individuals. We have a program that enables a 15% discount to put solar on your home, for example. Some credit if you buy a EV car. So we're thinking about our benefits and really kind of transitioning them to sustainable benefits too.
What's that thing that's keeping you up at night about your work?
Well, the fact that we rose global emissions last year at 10%, and we need to get at a 50% reduction in the next 7 years. I think that is the thing, how can we go faster? I think I love being in New York. First of all, I'm from here, so I love being here for that reason.
Best city.
But best city. But also because I think the finance and investment community have been driving this conversation in the absence of government policy and legislation. So I wish we were going faster. I'm glad the EU has done what they've done, and now it's regulatory. In the next month, people are going to have to report. That's going to impact large enterprises in the US anyway, even though we don't have regulation. But I keep thinking about collectively, how can we go faster? The business community can move faster in certain cases than the government can. I live in California, and California is way out in front from an environmental policy perspective. But I think that having states in different place where I love the federal government to kind of jump in a bigger way. I'm really excited about the Inflation Reduction Act and the money that's going to go into electrification and renewable energy. I just wish that we would do more from a regulatory perspective.
That's great. Anything that you are looking forward to next year, as we think about coming out of COP this year, coming into COP next year, anything that you really want to see on the big worldwide climate agenda next year?
I'm really focused on the nature positive agenda. I'm really, really excited about that. I think that, in addition to all the environmental benefits, you get so much from a biodiversity perspective, from a jobs perspective, economic development. Really looking at nature positive strategies, I think they just have so much more robust impact. I am excited also, on the other hand, on the carbon removal technologies that I'm starting to see and really helping to get them to scale. And I guess the last thing is really just this explosion of ecopreneurs, all these entrepreneurs that have shifted either from big companies or various startups to really have businesses that are really focused on climate change, whether it's biochar and advanced weathering and all this stuff that I've learned about, or direct air capture. There's just so much innovation happening, so we're really tracking that.
It's exciting to see how many people are choosing to invest their time and their wealth and their resources and all of those things in this space.
They have to do it.
Yes.
We all have to do it together.